Hello and welcome to practice. My name is Jenny and today I'll be showing you some of my favourite drills to work towards handstand. Handstand is one of those yoga poses that can feel impossible, but I promise you with patience, repetition and the right tools, the impossible can become possible. And so let's get started today by setting our mat up by a wall, because we will be using the wall later on in practice. And then once you've done that, make your way into a comfortable seat. You can be kneeling or you can be sat. Close down your eyes or keep the eyes open but find a soft spot to rest the gaze on. And let's just start to bring that awareness and attention into the body. See if you can start to tune in with the rhythm of your breathing. Just following that gentle inhale and exhale. Focus is a very important part of handstand practice, and by bringing our awareness and attention to the breath, we start to attune that ability to focus. And our mindset is incredibly important when it comes to handstand practice. So I'd like to begin by sharing some affirmations with you. I'll repeat each affirmation 3 times, and I'll leave a space afterwards where you're welcome to repeat that affirmation either silently in your mind or out loud. So just inviting you here to take a lovely deep breath in through your nose, fill the lungs up with air. And then open the mouth and sigh that breath out the mouth. Let it go. My body is healthy and strong. My body is healthy and strong. My body is healthy and strong. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. All things are possible. All things are possible. All things are possible. Take another lovely deep breath in through your nose. Sigh that breath out the mouth, let it go. And then if the eyes are closed, blink the eyes open. Bring yourself back to this space. Good. So let's come into a bit of work to help strengthen our hands. Take your hands out in front of you and spread the fingers out as wide as you can. And then from there, make a fist with your hands. So we'll spread the fingers out wide and then we'll make fists. And you can do this as fast or as slow as you like, but just knowing that doing it faster is a little bit harder. And we're going to go for about a minute of this. Now, if this is the first time you've done this exercise, you might start to feel tired pretty quickly. But the more we practice it, the stronger those hands get, and the easier it becomes to do this for longer. So just keep on moving those fingers, stretching out and making fists. And we're about halfway. So if you're feeling the burn, me too, just keep going as best as you can. So last 15 seconds. If you want to make this harder, just make it a little bit faster. For the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, shake the wrists out. Oh, should feel good to do that. Fab. So from where you are, let's make our way into tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit more work on the hands here. So spreading those fingers out wide, pressing down into the fingertips. And this time we want our shoulders above our wrists and our hips above our knees. And just taking a little bit of softness in the elbows so we're not locking into the elbow joints. And then in a clockwise direction, you're going to imagine you're drawing a circle with the shoulders around the wrist. So this doesn't need to be a big movement, but as we inhale, we'll come slightly forward and then exhale slightly back. 3 more cycles in this direction. Inhaling, bringing it forward. Exhale, take it back. 2 more. See if you can feel that weight moving forward into the knuckles. And then as you take it back into the heels of the hands. Last one. Inhale as you bring it forward. And exhale back. Let's go the opposite direction. So circling, inhaling forward and exhaling back. I want you to really see if you can press firmly into the fingertips here, so much so that the knuckles might turn a little bit white. 3 more cycles in this direction. And when we do this regularly, it can really help with keeping our wrists strong and mobile. Last cycle in this direction. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Bring yourself back to center. Try turning the fingertips to the outer edges of the mat. And this time, we're doing a gentle shifting from left to right. Squeeze the fingertips into the floor. Maybe the knuckles lift up a little bit as you do that. Come back to center. And then see if you can turn the fingertips all the way round to face the body. And if you're new to this, maybe the wrists don't go that way straight away, but the more we practice it, the easier it will become to turn those fingers towards the body. And then this time, if you feel like you have the space to do so, just take a little gentle rocking backwards and forwards. You might find that the heel of the hand lifts off the mat a little bit. That's absolutely fine. And see if you can feel into that stretch of the inner wrists. The fingers are still spreading out wide and I'm still trying to claw my fingertips down into the mat. Good, and then come back to center. Flip the fingertips forward to face the front of the mat. And now we're going to stretch the front of the wrist or the top of the wrist. So if you lean into your left hand, turn the right hand upside down. See if you can bring the back of the hand down onto the mat. And then maybe a little bit of gentle movement side to side. Keep pressing the fingers down into the mat. So rather than letting the fingers curl up, press the fingers down. And then from there, see if you can just come up and make a fist. So I'm between the first 2 knuckles here, making that fist. And then I'm going to bring the back of the hand flat onto the mat. We're going to do that a couple more times. So making a fist and then bring the back of that hand flat. I'm going to try and straighten my elbow as much as I can here. Last one, make a fist, push the floor away, and then back of the hands comes flat. Good. Let's make a fist one more time, and then let's flip sides. Let's come to the left. So right hand is planting down, the back of that left hand is finding the mat. Just going to work into the stretch of the top of the wrist here. So a little bit of movement from side to side. Keep spreading the fingers, keep pressing the fingers down into the mat. And then you're going to make a fist, push the floor away through that fist, and then back of the hand comes flat. 2 more to go. Make that fist, back of the hand flat. Last one, make a fist, back of the hand flat. Let's come into our fist one more time, and then turn the fingertips around, lean back onto your heels, shake the wrists out. This work can be very helpful in handstand practice because our hands are our braking system. So when we're trying to hold a handstand in the middle of the room, the thing that's stopping us from falling over is the press into the fingertips. And this is why it's so important to strengthen the hands when we're working on handstand. Good. We're going to come into a little bit more upper body and core work now with our plank pose. So plank is such an important pose in this handstand journey. So let's come forward onto all fours. Let's stack our shoulders directly above our wrists. Push the floor away through the hands. So we're not letting our body collapse towards the floor. We're actively pushing the floor away. Engage through the tummy muscles and then step your feet back into plank pose. Now, as we come up into that plank, push the floor away with the hands again. Engage through the tummy muscles. Lift the thighs away from the floor. So the kneecaps are moving away from the floor. The heels are pulling back. The crown of the head is reaching forward. And we're going to try and hold this plank for about a minute. We've already been here for about 15 seconds. So just see if you can stay. And if it's too much, of course you can bring your knees to the floor and you can come back in when you feel ready to. See if you can maintain that nice smooth breathing in and out through the nose here. So we're about halfway, 30 seconds to go. So holding this plank is a really good way to build the strength needed to hold handstand. Last 15 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down. Relax for a moment. So our next exercise is going to focus on the core, and we're using plank as our base again, but this time we're going to try adding in some mountain climbers. Now again, this can be a lot, so if it's too much, just do it for 10 seconds, maybe 15, and over time when you repeat this video, you'll be able to work towards doing more and more. So let's find our plank position. You could always do this with the knees on the ground as well. That's a really nice modification. So coming into your version of plank, draw the right knee in towards the chest and then step that right foot back. And then left knee comes in and then step it back. And try not to let the rest of the body move. So the plank position is staying very stable and we're just moving those knees in towards the chest, squeezing through the core as we do that. So you can do this slow or you can start to speed it up a little bit. We're about halfway, so keep going. And as I say, if you need to take breaks, do. Definitely going to get out of breath on this one. Keep pushing the floor away through the hands. Good. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Give yourself a moment. So these exercises are going to build that core strength that we need to hold our body up in handstand. Take as long as you need to rest, and then we will move on to the next exercise. So this time we're going to work on some yoga style push-ups, and we'll do 5 of these. Now, coming into your plank position, we could do modified plank where the knees are just behind the hips, shoulders are above the wrists. This could be where you do your push-ups from, inhaling to come down, exhaling to press back up. Or you can tuck your toes, you can lift the knees off the ground. And if you're coming from plank pose, try and shift the shoulders slightly forward of the wrist. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you lift. Let's go for 5 rounds. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. 3 to go. Inhale, down, exhale, back up. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Last one, lower, lift. Now take a deep breath in at the top of that plank, and then nice and slow, see if you can lower yourself all the way to the belly. Relax for a moment. Get your breath back. The breath is really the foundation of our practice, and when our breath becomes choppy, it means that we probably just need to slow down a little bit. Good, and then this time we're going to work on some strengthening for our spine. So for this one, we want to be lying on our tummy with our legs extending back and the tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. From there, let your forehead find the floor. That helps to lengthen the back of the neck. And take your hands beside the lower rib cage so that the elbows are just above the wrists. Hug the elbows into the body and then roll the shoulders back and down. And we're going to come into baby cobra here. So without using your hands to help you, as you inhale, lift your forehead and maybe some of the chest away from the floor. Keep pressing the tops of the feet down and using the back muscles here to lift. Take one more breath in where you are. Exhale, forehead back to the mat. 4 more to go. Inhale as we lift. Squeeze the elbows in. Roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower. So we don't have to go up high, but we're using the strength of the spine to lift us. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more to go. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, see if you can hold at the top. Inhale to lift. Hug the elbows in. Press the tops of the feet down. See if you can lift up a little higher. Good, and then from where you are, see if you can extend your arms back behind you, and maybe you can lift your feet off the ground, squeezing through your glutes and your hamstrings here as well. Couple more breaths. The inhale, maybe you can go a little bit higher, and then the exhale naturally goes down a little bit. 1 more breath in, inhale to lift. Exhale, relax down. Hands can come under the shoulders. Press into the hands, come onto all fours. And then we'll take it nice and gently back into child's pose. Big toes joining, hips towards heels, arms extending forward, forehead to the ground. Few rounds of breath here, just allowing that extension of the spine, allowing the full expansion of the belly with the inhale, and that drawing back in with the exhale. Just starting to bring our awareness and attention back to the breath, developing that focus and attention and awareness of the present moment. Good, and when you're ready, you can come up into a kneeling position. And so we're going to start to work on some of our handstand drills now. So flipping yourself around so that you're facing the wall. And we're going to do a downward facing dog with the hands close to the wall. I like to leave a little bit of a space between the fingertips and the wall, because if we're too close to the wall, when we start to kick up into handstand, there's not enough space and we might end up just falling straight back down again. So maybe a hand's distance. So if you press your fingertips onto the wall, maybe a hand's distance, place the hands there, and that's going to give you some space to play around with here. And if that doesn't feel right, try taking the hands further away or a little closer and see what works for you here. So downward facing dog, spreading the fingers wide, pressing into the fingertips, tuck the toes, lift your hips up and back. And then we're pressing into the hands and we're drawing the hips towards the back of the mat. We're letting the head relax between the arms. Just take a few breaths there. You can always pedal out the feet or shift the hips from side to side here. And so downward dog is a really nice place to start working on our kick up to handstand. And to begin with, what we're going to do is work on the push against the floor with the standing leg. So it doesn't matter whether we actually get up into handstand. We're working on our foot that's on the floor, pushing against the floor. So let me show you. We'll lift our left leg up towards the ceiling, and it doesn't matter how high it is. It might be lower down, it might be a little bit higher, but you're just reaching that leg back. And then with that right leg, you're going to bend your knee. You're going to push off the ball of the foot and just see if you can hop the foot off the ground. You might not come very high, that's fine. So you're bending through the knee and you're hopping. Bending through the knee, hop. Bend through the knee, hop. As you start to become a little bit more confident with this, you might start to get a little bit more height, and you can use that other leg to kind of bounce off. So the left leg is lifting up, it's giving you a little bit of momentum to lift. This work can be very tiring, so knowing that you can always come back to rest in down dog or child's pose, knees to the ground, forehead to the floor. Once you've had a go on one leg, we try the same thing on the other side. So we lift our right leg off the ground, we bend our left knee, and we're just going to work on seeing if we can push the floor away through the heel. So by bending the knee, we straighten the leg, we push into the ball of the foot, and we see if we can lift that foot off the ground. And then you might be able to use that right leg to swing a bit up into your handstand. So this is one of the first drills that I like to work on, because the first reason is, even if we're only coming up a centimetre off the floor, it's starting to give us more confidence in that hopping or jumping up to handstand. And the other reason is it's really good for building that strength in the arms as we start to shift more of that weight forward into our upper body. So this is one that you can work on. At the beginning, our feet might just come a tiny bit off the ground, and over time you'll start to build that up, and maybe you can come all the way up from that hop to bring the legs up against your wall. If you do get to the point where the legs are on the wall, push the floor away through the hands, and maybe to begin with you stay here for a breath or two, and then you might be able to build it up to 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds. As soon as you start to feel tired, drop yourself back down. So the next drill that we're going to work on is helping to get the alignment of your wrists, your shoulders, and your pelvis for freestanding handstand. So when we're kicking up against the wall, we're using momentum to bring us into the shape. And this next drill that we're going to work on is not using any momentum, and it helps you to feel where the body needs to be in alignment with the wrists, the shoulders, and the pelvis. So for this one, we'll start by sitting against the wall, and we'll extend our legs forward in front of us. Now, wherever your feet go to on your mat, just mark that with something, and then that's where we want to place our hands. So I'm going to just notice where I've got to on my mat. I'm going to move my feet around, and that's where I'm going to place my hands on my mat. So we're going to do a short downward dog here. So you're pressing into the hands, you're going to lift the hips, and my heels are just resting on the wall. But it's fine to bend the knees here, so don't worry, you don't have to have straight legs in this position. Now, from there, hands are about shoulder distance. all I'm going to do is lift one foot up onto the wall. You see I have to have my knee bent as I do that. And then I'm going to press into the ball of that right foot, just like I was pressing into it when it was on the floor, when we were in that previous exercise. And then I'm just going to see if I can straighten the leg, and my shoulders are coming over my wrists as I do that. I'm going to drop back down. I'm going to practice this a few times. Your leg might not fully straighten. You might get it about half straight. You're going to come to as straight as you can and then drop back down. This is amazing for building that upper body strength. Let's go for 3 more rounds. So we're pulling up and then down. 2 more to go. Lift, lower. Last one. Bring both feet down. Relax for a moment. Give the hands a little shake. Handstand practice really teaches us patience, because if we try and do too much too quickly, we just get so exhausted. So it's really important to take these little breaks within our handstand practice. Let's have a go on the other leg. So we're setting our hands up on the mat. We're going to come into that short downward dog. This time I'm bringing my left foot up to the wall, about hip height. So we don't want that foot going too high here. Hip height is high enough. And then we're pressing into the ball of the foot. We're going to see if we can shift that weight forward. I'm pressing into my fingertips here as well, starting to get that feeling of breaking, because the hips are coming quite far forward of the shoulders. So 4 more like that. We straighten the leg as much as we can, and then we bring the foot down. 3 to go. Bring it up and back down. 2 more rounds. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift. Maybe you can bring both feet onto the wall this time. Keep pressing into the fingertips. And when you've had enough, feet jump down. Let it go. Give the wrists a shake out. So once we get confident with this drill, which can actually take many, many months, I would say it feels very scary to have your hips right above the shoulders in this half handstand position. But when you are comfortable with that, I'm going to show you the next step. So we come into that half handstand. So hands are grounding, feet onto the wall, hips above the shoulders, and then maybe we can lift one leg up here. And then we bring that leg back to the wall and we switch. And then we bring it back and then we jump down. And again, lots of repetition, lots of practice, and holding it at the beginning for a short period, 1 or 2 seconds. And as you get more confident, seeing if you can make that time longer, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Eventually, when we're comfortable with that drill, we can have a go at finding our half handstand, lifting one leg off the wall, and then maybe the other foot comes in towards the tailbone. Maybe that leg starts to extend up. And then feet back to the wall, relax down. And when we come to handstand practice, it's really important to remember that the fun part of handstanding is the journey and not the destination. And so take your time with this. If you have any questions, specific questions that are coming up in your practice, do feel free to get in touch. And I really hope that the drills that you've learned today will start to give you more confidence in your body and knowing that you are capable of achieving many great things, and that things that feel impossible right now, they really can become possible for you in the future. We're just going to finish with a couple of little cooling down exercises here. So after we've done handstands, our wrists can be a little sensitive, so it's nice just to circle the wrists out. And then if you just bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, draw the elbows towards each other, circle the wrists here, and the other way. Stretch the arms out in front, turn the palms away from each other and cross the left hand over the right hand, and see if you can bring the left little finger under the right little finger, and then from there just bring the hands in and circle them back. We'll do that a few times. Bring the arms out in front, palms facing away, and then other side. Right hand crosses over the left, right little finger under the left little finger. And again, just work through the shoulders, the wrists, and the elbows. Last one. Relax the arms down. And from there, let's come to lie down onto our back. Let's hug those knees to the chest. Take a gentle rocking side to side. And take it into a gentle twist here. So arms to the sides, feet can drop to the floor, hips and feet slightly to the right, and then just let the knees drop to the left. And if you want more, just draw the knees a little closer towards you. Maybe your left hand rests onto your outer right thigh. Maybe you bend your right elbow 90 degrees into a cactus shape. And you can turn the head away from the knees, or you could face the same way as the knees. Let's just take a last few rounds of breath here. And no matter how the practice went for you today, now is the time to let go. If you felt the practice went well, well done, but let it go. And if you felt that the practice didn't go very well, well done, and let it go. Be present for your body right here, right now. You can bring those knees back up to center. Shift the hips and the feet slightly to the right. Let the knees drop over to the left. If you want more, hug those knees a little closer. Take your right hand, rest it onto your left outer thigh. Bend your left elbow 90 degrees. And then you can turn the head away from the knees or towards the knees. And just be here, breathe. This is also part of the journey. Making sure that we prioritize time for rest, for recovery, and allowing the body time to repair. Good. On your next inhale, bring those knees back up to center. Extend your legs out long. Let the shoulder blades draw underneath the spine. Allow the palms to face up. And close down your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. We'll just repeat the affirmations from the start of practice one more time. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And I sigh out through the mouth, let it go. My body is healthy and strong. My body is healthy and strong. My body is healthy and strong. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. All things are possible. All things are possible. All things are possible. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Sigh that breath out the mouth, let it go. And then just taking a few final minutes here to be still and to rest in the afterglow of practice. And if you have longer to stay today, you're welcome to stay as long as you need. But if you're ready to move on with your day, just start to bring some gentle movements back into your fingers and your toes. You can circle your wrists and your ankles. And with an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, bring the feet together, take a full body stretch. And as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. In your own time, making your way back to a final seated position. So thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you have any questions at all about this practice, please feel free to get in touch with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.